call to tonight's meeting to order of the Portland City Council, our first regular scheduled meeting of July 2012. I ask you all this time to stand for the prayer and pledge, please. Our Father in heaven, we're thankful for this day and all the blessings. We're thankful for the little rain we got earlier today, and hope you will bless us with some more rain as we go through these next few days. Thank you for everyone who is serving on the City Council and who serves this city, and we thank you for all of our citizens. And we'll let us go through this meeting tonight, and as always look to thee for help. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, roll call, Ms. King.
Alderman Bratton.
Here.
Alderman Callis.
Here.
Alderman Coker.
Here.
Alderman Harbin.
Here.
Vice Mayor McDowell.
Here.
Alderman Menace.
Here.
Alderman White.
Next, need approval of minutes of the June 4th, 18th, and 25th council meetings.
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussions or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we need to approve the agenda. I know we do have, we've got one add-on, so do we have a motion to get on the floor?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
I want to add 12-61 as a resolution for us to enter into a grant, matching grant program with the TML insurance pool. Then I think a couple councilmen had some things they wanted to add.
I'd like to add another item on tonight's agenda discussing about the burn ban and fireworks for the city of Portland.
Okay. Where do you want to?
At the end of the meeting's fine.
Okay, so we'll put that after the. Okay. I think. Do you have one, Tim?
I'd like to add to discuss take possible action on ordinance number 12-09 regarding the change.
Just do that at the end of the meeting.
That'd be fine too if you want to put it on the end.
What is 1209?
It's where we changed the duties of the city recorder.
All right, does anyone else have any changes they'd like to make?
Where is that TML going?
It'll be right after, all three of these will be right after the second reading, 12-20, at the end of legislative. We'll just add them right on there.
It was that thing I emailed y'all last week.
Any other changes to the agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have public hearings. These are hearings on 3 different ordinances. Later on, we will have a part where the public can talk to the council about items on the agenda. The first public hearing, and these are for second readings of the ordinance, is 12-22. It's an ordinance approving a contract between the Portland Airport Authority, State of Tennessee Department of Transportation, Aeronautics Division for RAS improvements for the municipal airport. Does anyone in the audience have any comments on this particular ordinance? Okay, if not, we'll go to ordinance 12-25. It's an ordinance authorizing contract between the City of Portland and Hodges Group for 2012 raw water booster station floor proofing. Does anyone need a comment on that from the audience? Okay, next will be ordinance 12-26. It's an ordinance approving a contract between the City of Portland and Tennessee Department of Transportation for the construction of a state industrial access road serving U.S. Sabaki Automotive, LLC. Does anyone like to make a comment on this ordinance? If not, public hearings will be closed. Next, we have communications from the mayor and alderman. Do we have any alderman wish to make any comments to the public? I just have 2 or 3. One, something happened this past weekend, but I want to recognize publicly, and I think the Farmers Bank for celebrating 100 years here in Portland. They had a 100-year celebration. I think, it's in this day and age when a company or group can be together for that long really says something, and I look for them to be around to enjoy Portland for many, many more years. Also today, some of us was invited to Kirby Kirby Building Systems today became the first company in the state of Tennessee to receive, a few months past, they received a Sharp Safety Award, and they received a VVP Safety Award, and they're the first company in Tennessee to receive this recognition from the TOSHA, which I think speaks a lot to them. And Nucor, being their parent company, really stresses this, and they just have 19 companies in the United States who have achieved this award. So I think it says a lot for them for their commitment to safety and the things that they've done. I was going to say, I guess, some things about the fireworks and drought management plan. I guess we'll just wait and do all that at once. And when we get there, if that's okay, Mike, or if you,
Oh, that's fine.
and we'll say that there. Tonight we do have some presentations to make, and then later on some. I want
Mayor, before that, back to Kirby, I think we'll send them a letter of commendation
to, okay, I'll take care of that.
and appreciation for the
Okay. I don't know if any of you noticed, but this weekend, there was a group of Eagle Scouts that came and did a lot of work around City Hall. If you haven't noticed, we got new mulching, everything's been painted and all. And one of the prime leaders is Eagle Scout, Jesse Garcia, and he has brought some people with him, so I'm going to ask him to come forward and I'll read his recognition. Don't be bashful. But I don't know if all you remember how hot it was Saturday. They was up here sweating and really did a lot of work. Says, whereas the city appointment is hereby acknowledged and congratulate Jesse Garcia, local Boy Scout, for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. Whereas there is one final effort to earn his signature, Jesse Garcia sought to do service projects for the city of Portland. Whereas in a day-long act of community service, Jesse Garcia, led by his Boy Scout troop 324, and other volunteers, and they all worked hard to improve the building exterior, parking lot, yard, landscape at City Hall, a pressure washing, painting, mulching, trimming shrubs, and doing other general cleanup work. Whereas Jesse Garcia has proven himself as exemplary leader and a positive influence. Now therefore, on behalf of the mayor and city council, you recognize Jesse Garcia for his contribution to the community and express our congratulations and sincere gratitude for this project. Here's your copy of this certificate of recognition. Thank you for all that you did. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, sir.
Would you like to say?
It's just that this project was kind of hard and it took a lot of effort. And there were some fun times and there were, within the heat, it would have messed us up, but we decided to go as best as we can. Thank you.
Thank you. You receive your Eagle Scout.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we want to recognize someone in our community who is name is becoming all over the United States. He is on YouTube. You go to it and find him, and he has reached great accomplishments. So that's Richard Neal. Richard, if you want some song. I think he's got his family with him. And some other people.
He wanted this to come with him, so
Okay.
we're on
If any of you don't know what Richard has accomplished, in 18 months, he has lost 242 pounds. So if you look at him there, he's done this through the Beachbody program, and also recently was awarded $100,000 for his accomplishment. If you get on YouTube, he is all over. He's putting Portland all over the United States. He's been talking to everybody all over the country. So I think we need to recognize this. I want to give him a certificate of recognition. It says, whereas the city of Portland is hereby acknowledged and congratulate Richard Neal for being awarded $100,000 by Beachbody Corporation on June 23rd, 2012. Whereas in an effort to become healthy and fit, Richard Neal sought to lose weight by undertaking the Beachbody program and in 18 months lost a total of 242 pounds. Whereas Richard Neal now seeks to give back to the community as a positive influence and as an encourager, inspiring friends and neighbors as they too attempt to exercise, eat right, lose weight, and become healthier. Whereas Richard Neal has proven himself an exemplary leader. Now therefore, as mayor on behalf of the city of Portland, we hereby recognize Richard Neal for his accomplishments and contributions to the city of Portland. And here's your, bring congratulations on your great feat. So, you'd like to say anything?
Well, personally, just wanting to seek my personal goals at getting healthy, get fit, because I've never honestly ever, being big since I was a kid, never knew that it was even possible. And especially even having the opportunity or even having a complete stranger completely change your life in one day. And, Jeff Wald, my coach, the whole team of Portland Fit Club, it's all about paying it forward. It's all about giving back. And it's all about, personally for me, giving God the glory for it all. And, it's being able to just have the opportunity to, be in this community is just touching to me. Very, very emotional. I love this town. I grew up, I went to school here, and any way I can make it a healthier town and lead by example, be more. Till the day I die, I'll be that example. So I love you, Mayor. Thank you so much. Council, everybody, whole town of Portland. Fit Club. Every day. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a great accomplishment, and he is, like I say, putting us, I think it's, what, Janice? Janice. Is it, what, Richard Neal, P90, is what's on YouTube?
It is. Let me get it to make sure, because I'm
I
not.
think that's the way it is. If you want to go on YouTube, he's got
There's a million hits.
reached a bunch of hits, so.
Some questions for you that I.
On the YouTube, it's what, Richard Neal, P90X? Or?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right, so if you want to go and see it on YouTube, it's, I think you said it's reached over 1 million hits.
Several million.
I don't know how many hits. It's honestly.
Almost 100,000 hits
Oh.
is what he's gotten so far, yeah.
So that's 100,000 people sing Portland's name, so thank you.
Yes.
And the reason they're dressed like this, I have to stay here, but they're ready for Fit Club tonight. I'm actually
Yeah.
probably going to miss part of it, but they're ready to work out.
All right. well,
And
very
plus Tony Horton, during when he was in Las Vegas, had announced Portland, Tennessee nationwide. So it's definitely something that even a small town like this, we all can make a difference and make a change. The Fit Club started out in a bonus room of a house, and it went to the First Baptist Church, and we were holding anywhere from 60 to 80 people a night for free. It's a thing that's opening up to the community for free. It's called Paying It Forward. So by all means, anyone needs any help or anything, or just wants to get fit, wants to lose a little bit of weight, it's not about losing weight, it's not about the scales either. It's just living a healthier lifestyle, making that lifestyle change and better choices. And that's what it boils down to. So anything that anybody needs, they can do it. They can do it right here.
Right.
So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we'll move on to our reports. Do we have a motion to approve our reports?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Any discussion on the reports? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have a time of public recognition. Would anyone like to address the council tonight with an item on the agenda? May do so at this time. Okay, if no one would like to address the agenda. Next, we have resolutions that we want to do in honor of some people. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get up and read these from the stand, and then after, what I wanna do is ask for a motion and second on each one individually, read it, and then ask for a vote, and then we'll present it to the family. Is that okay with everybody? Of course, we all are sad that we had recently lost 3 of our aldermen who no longer are aldermen that have served, and we're going to do these in order of their passing. I think would be the proper way to do that. The first one would be, I'd ask for a motion to put on the floor Resolution 12-50.
So move.
Have a second? Okay. This is resolution of the City of Portland of 12-50. It says a resolution to plant a tuber poplar tree in Richland Park as a memorial to former Portland Alderman Buddy A. West, October 25th, 1936 to March 7th, 2012. Whereas the City of Portland grieves the loss of former Alderman Buddy A. West, Bud West, recently deceased. Whereas Bud West was born to Paul and Emma Maureen West in Portland, Tennessee in 1936, attended Sumner County High School, married Carolyn Gray in 1963, continued to make Portland home, where together they raised one daughter, Tracy, their 2 grandsons, Lees and Wesley Kaiser, at the time of his passing on March 7, 2012. Whereas Bud West served in the United States Air Force, was a local business owner and employee of United Parcel Service for 27 years, member of McKee Memorial Methodist Church, Boy Scout leader, Little League coach, Junior Chamber of Commerce, and Lion Club's member, and served as a Portland Fire Department volunteer. Whereas the City of Portland was fortunate to have Bud West serve as an alderman from 1995 to 1999, now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Portland that a tulip poplar tree shall be planted at Richland Park along with a plaque placed in his memory of former Alderman Bud West. Do we have all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, this does pass, and that's the family. If you come up here, we'll get you. Well, personally, I served with Bud and worked with him, and I guess you all know it's an honor to recognize him. And then the council like to say anything, and get all those opportunities.
Just to thank you for this, this is an honor, and I appreciate it very much.
And we'll get these flags ordered, and then we'll have them call you. Thank y'all. I'd like to put on the floor a motion for 12-51.
So move.
Have a second.
Second.
A resolution to plant a tuber poplar tree in Richland Park as a memorial to former Alderman Walter E. Buck Morris, January 14, 1936 to May the 9th, 2012. Whereas the City of Portland grieves the loss of former Portland Alderman Walter E. Buck Morris, recently deceased. Whereas Buck Morris was born to Walter and Bernice Morris in Thayer, Illinois in 1936, graduated from Girard, Illinois High School in 1953, attended Jewell College, married Grace Davison, and in 56 years of marriage together, they raised 4 children, Don Lee, Denise, Darrell, and Daniel. He had 10 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren at the time of his passing on May the 9th, 2012. Whereas Buck Morris was involved in commercial fishing in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and the glass business in Gallatin, Tennessee, until the family settled in Portland in 1972, whereas they owned and operated a plate glass business until 2012. Whereas Buck Morris was a member of the Oak Street Baptist Church, where he served as the interim pastor for a time and music director for many years, served as a Chamber of Commerce president in 1996, and co-directed the Chamber of Commerce musical for 6 years. Whereas the City of Portland was fortunate to have Buck Morris serve as an alderman from 1999 to 2003. Now therefore be resolved by the mayor and board of aldermen of the city of Portland that a tulip poplar tree shall be planted at Richland Park along with a plaque placed in memory of former Alderman Buck Morris. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, I ask Ms. Grace if you. Here again, I know for me and like a lot of the account, all three of these are really personal and Buck was somebody that used to just really enjoy talking to. I hate that I've never got to go fishing with him. You know, always invite us to come up there and never did, so I really think that he was a good man. We appreciate it. What would you like to say?
I just know that I really enjoy being on the council. He loves serving the community. He loves his God, loved his family. But he really enjoyed being on the council and working with the other councilmen.
Anything y'all like to say? I think the resolution speaks for it. All right. Do you have a motion put on floor 12-52?
So moved.
Second. A resolution to plant a two-per poplar tree in Richland Park as a memorial to former Alderman Bill Call, September the 3rd, 1938 to June the 2nd, 2012. Whereas the city of Portland grieves the loss of former Portland Alderman William Dye Bill Call Jr., recently deceased. Whereas Bill Call was born to William and Marguerite Call in Portland, Tennessee in 1938, graduated from Sumner County High School in 1956, married Charlotte Suller in 1964, continued to make Portland home, where together they raised 3 children, Pat, Ty, Kim, and had 7 great-grandchildren at the time of his passing on June the 2nd, 2012. Whereas Bill Call served in the U.S. Army, was a local banker for 44 years, 35 years at that time as an executive for Volunteer State Bank, member of the Portland Church of Christ, Boy Scout leader, Little League coach, Junior Chamber of Commerce, and Rotary Club president. Whereas the city of Portland was fortunate to have Bill Collis serve as alderman intermittently from 1971 to 2007 with one term as vice mayor for a total of 16 years. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and board of aldermen of the city of Portland that a tulip poplar tree shall be planted at Richland Park along with a plaque placed in memory of former alderman vice mayor Bill Collis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Charlotte, would y'all stand it? All family, come on. We have honored, of course, a lot of people might not know, of course, Bill, we're still kin. So this, Bill is a special person, I think all of us. We're glad to honor him, glad to honor all of us.
He would be really pleased. He served with a lot of people. And he would come home and he would say, for the most part, it was good. So that would be a smile that we would have. He would say, I really like it. Some meetings are harder than other meetings, right? But he would be real pleased. So thank you so much.
You didn't ask if anybody wanted to say anything that time, but I would.
And I know it was kind of, I'd like to say.
You know, we're honoring the 3 men that served the city of Portland City Council, but I know what my family goes through and puts up with and sacrifices to allow me to serve in this office. So I'd like to also just extend a thank you to the families that
Absolutely.
probably had to put up with a lot and make a lot of sacrifices to allow these men to serve on the city council. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's, they all go through trials and different things, and it is something I think sometimes we forget is the people that support her the most are, and the best are right there at home. So, but
Can I make just one brief comment? I was the junior person on the city council when these men were appointed to this council. Now I'm the senior person, so I've been through a lot with all of those guys. What I can say about those men, that they brought separate skill sets to the city council, and you need separate skill sets. And I'll say that we did not always agree, but we always agree to disagree. And I think that's really important. And I challenge some young men in this community to step up and serve in their capacity to take those footsteps, take those places, because I'm not, we need more good men. And one thing that I heard at each one of them service is that, and I hope someone could say that about me, that he was just a good man. And if a person says he's just a good man, that says it all, in my opinion. Thank you for their service.
They all three have big shoes to fill, and I hope we've lived up to it.
All right, anything else? Okay, again, we thank all the families for coming, and it takes a little while to get those plaques, but when we get them, then we'll do a little...
We'll try to wait till we won't set them now,
Yeah.
because it'd be kind of difficult.
Yeah, maybe a little bit cooler, so...
Yeah, maybe September, maybe.
All right, again, thank y'all for coming tonight. Appreciate all of your... If not, we'll move on. CAC, you have anything tonight? Okay. Planning Commission, I believe Mr. McDowell, you don't have anything on the agenda? You got-
No, sir, nothing on planning tonight.
Okay. We'll let Ted know. Next is Resolution 12-53, under Public Works. Mr. Bradley, you want to...
It's a resolution authorizing acceptance of the best bid for the water distribution parts for fiscal year 2013. Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? I think there was a question. You got the answer on that.
Yeah, that's good. I spoke with Jimmy Stewart in regards to the company that you'd like to do the business with, it'd be the most reliable. And he would recommend Southern Pipe. When it comes to the fire hydrants, they do not sell the ones that we currently use. However, in 2003, we bought 15 fire hydrants, and we still have 4 left. So the replacing the fire hydrants isn't a top issue. When a subdivision comes in, we do recommend Mueller, or when a car hits it, that the insurance company will buy Mueller. But when it comes to our replacement, we still have 4 left, and Jimmy still feels that Southern Pipe would do us the best service.
If we could get the fire hydrant, a Mueller from another company, we would
Yeah.
just have to do a separate bid.
Is that what the exceptions are that are?
I believe so, yes.
Any other
Mules
comments?
are spec in all subdivisions, aren't they?
Yes.
Well, that'll, if we have to, we can buy them somewhere else.
Yes.
Right. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have Resolution 12-58. It's a resolution to hire Chris Rogers as full-time sanitation worker.
I so move.
I have a motion.
Second.
Second. Luke, I didn't mean to take it away from you.
Big point.
I didn't mean to.
I know you do. You're on the roll, Merrill. I was just, I was still reflecting. Thank you for that, though.
Right.
So you've already called for.
Well, yeah, we already had a motion and a second. Chris is here with us tonight. Chris, you want to stand up and let him see you? He's been working for the sanitation's part-time and has done a terrific job, and we appreciate it. Has anybody got any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Ordinance 12-27, first reading ordinance to authorize a contract between the City of Portland and Mid-Cumberland Community Action Agency for the 2012-13 Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion, do we have a second? Second. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Ordinance 12-25, second reading, is an ordinance authorizing a contract between the City of Portland, Tennessee and Rogers Group for the 2012 raw water booster station flood improvement. Make a motion to approval with an explanation from the mayor.
We have a motion, have a second.
Second.
And I think you said Rogers Group. It's
I'm sorry, Rogers Group. How did I get Rogers Group?
What this is it's 100% funded by FEMA. Through the flood in 2010, we had several things that happened. There were some projects that we had submitted to FEMA. All of them did not get approved. This is one that get approved. The raw water booster station there at the plant did get up almost to the top of the door, not quite. Did cause some electrical problems, did cause some pump problems. And so this is monies that they have approved to waterproof that. Hopefully that would not happen again when it does get up that high. Like I say, again, it is 100% by FEMA. It's like all residents, we have to do it up front and we wait for reimbursement. But, so any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you, Mr. Brant. Next, we've got one item on public safety, Mike.
A resolution to hire a reserve police officer for the city of Portland. That's the only information I have. Move to approve, I guess, because I don't have any other information.
Okay, well, all right. It should be in your packet, Resolution 12-54.
This was item we discussed at work study extensively.
We discussed it, but I just don't have it in
Yeah.
my stuff.
Second reading.
I have my email, and I don't have it.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Already have a second.
Oh, do we? Okay. Okay. To hire Dustin Hood as a reserve police officer for the city of Portland. He presently is working for the sheriff's department. If all you don't know, this is him right here. And I don't know him personally, but I've heard a lot of good things about you, and I think we look forward to having you work with us here. So, any other comments or questions?
He's a local guy too, so.
He is.
Yeah.
I want to apologize to him the other day. He asked me, I saw him, he asked me if it's passed, if he was hired, and I told him yes. I forgot it was first reading. So I apologize.
Well, this is just a resolution, all it takes.
Yeah.
So-
But it was a work study.
It was a work study.
Oh, okay. you're talking about
We
the work
approved it on the
study.
work study.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next we go to legislative, got several, resolution 12-55. A resolution accepting best bid from Brown and Dealer Construction for structure demolition and tree removal. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
It's also discussed in last work study. We have a house at 300 Richland and several trees there to be removed, and then a house on DeMay Street, all due to code violations and not fit to live in. This will be done by the city, paid for by the city, then liens will attach to the properties, so when there is movement on the properties, we'll be able to collect our money back. Of course,
Need to be sure and separate this bid between the two projects
Okay,
for purposes of the lien.
so we need to have another resolution or just,
Well, I think the bid you've got, you just need to make sure that.
so we just attach, right, we'll attach this, the item, yeah, they broke it down into. So when we do the lien, we'll do the appropriate amount to the property, right? Okay.
Because the bid I seen had one price on it.
Right.
Is there a different bid then? I'm missing something.
No, he's just saying that when we go to make the lien, that whatever the actual cost of this 10,008 was at 300 Ridgeland, we don't need to put that price on there, and
So y'all have that
then, yeah,
information?
he will have that for us.
It doesn't throw a wrench in where it should have been bid separately, does it?
No, it'll be bid together, just for purposes of the lien.
As long as he can separate it.
Right. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, have a resolution 12-56, a resolution to reappoint members to the Park Advisory Board. One is the director's appointment, which is Laura Robinson, and others is the park committee's appointment, which is Bob Gideon. These both are reappointments. I ask for a motion to get on the floor.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Is there any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have Resolution 12-57, resolution to allow participation in the State of Tennessee Benefits Administration Vision Insurance Program for full-time employees. Do you have a motion to get it on the floor?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All this is, the state has come up with a vision program, and it's strictly voluntary, and if an employee wants to take part in that, they would have to pay for it through their cost. But we have to pass a resolution, saying that we would allow them to participate in that. And that's all this is. It's not going to be any cost to the city other than just making it available to them. The
Do
comments?
the city employees still have access to Aflac
Yes.
as a secondary?
And we may not have any that wants it, and we may have some. I think Mike, when he did his survey early on, that was one of the things that kind of came up a time or two, but that some would like to have some vision, so they will be available to them this year. So
Is that available to retired employees that are still on our insurance?
I can't answer, but I think normally anything that's offered to the full-time is offered to they would just have to pay their part of it. And this is one of those plans that, you're just going to have to look at and see if the premium is beneficial to you or not. It'd be a personal decision. So. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have Resolution 12-59, a resolution to acknowledge the mayor's reappointment of one member to the Portland Regional Planning Commission. That would be Dr. Donald Blocker. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any comments on Dr. Blocker's reappointment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next we have Resolution 12-60, a resolution to confirm one reappointment to the Portland Municipal Zoning Board of Appeals, and that would be Mr. Dan Livingston. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a second? Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have ordinance 12-26. This is the second reading of an ordinance to approve the contract between the City of Portland and Tennessee Department of Transportation for the construction of a state industrial access road serving U.S. Sabaki Automotive. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a
Second.
second? Is any comments or questions? I know we went over this in the last work study. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next will be the resolution that was handed out to you by Patricia, 12-61. This is a resolution offering the City of Portland to participate in TML Risk Management Police Safety Partners Matching Grant Program. I'd ask for a motion to get it on the floor.
So moved.
It's for a second.
Second.
Okay. What this is a program that the POO comes out with each year. And what it does is, as we order some safety equipment and different projects, then they will match a certain part of it. Usually $2,000 to $3,000 is. Last year we used it to get all the cones and stuff to do a driving class for all the city employees, and then we'll use it for some PPE equipment and different things like that. But it is a way for us to get part of our money back for owning it today each year. It's a good program. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next we go to added on by Mr. Callis. Talk about the fireworks and the burn ban.
Yeah, I was thinking it'd be prudent for us, and I'd like to make a motion that anytime our fire chief feels like there's an open burn ban implemented in the city, that automatically includes the discharge of fireworks in the city of Portland. Awful lot of confusion about whether we can or can't, and I just feel that if you can't do an open fire, should you be able to shoot a rocket in somebody's backyard? So I just feel like it'd just make common sense to include that into our ban on open burning. So I make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion. Do we have a second?
I get a second.
Okay. Open for discussion.
I say it because I had someone call me about that this weekend. So there are people out there asking about it.
What triggered this, and I'll talk a little bit about, and then of course Chief West here and speak, but there is a, it's called, and you go on the internet and get it, and it looks like this. It's a U.S. Drought Monitor. It's a sheet that comes up like this, and each Thursday is updated, and this Thursday, past Thursday, we became in what they call the D1 classification, which means that something for the fire department for the open burning, then also for the water department. We'll discuss that separately. So that's what brought. So the intent was to, and, you know, everybody just look at me right now, I mean, because I'm the one who made the final decision. Is that we did issue the burn ban, but I made a decision to allow fireworks to be sold. But we did make, I mean, not just to be sold, but to be shot, enjoyed, ever how you want to put it. But we did make them, and I think this is where some of the confusion came in. This is true at all times, not only during the burn ban, but anytime someone burns or chooses to discharge fireworks outdoors, that they may be held personally responsible if their actions led to personal property damage, human property damage, anything, that they could be held personally endangered, and they would be held responsible for that. You know, there's a lot of different type of fireworks. Some shoot on the ground, shoot up in the air, and I made the decision, and I stood by it, that we would allow them to be shot in the city of Portland if the council so chooses, and they can do something different.
You know, is there any ordinance that actually governs this?
There is, but not when you say you do or don't. We don't have anything. We got this language out of our Title 13 about it being unlawful, but there's no, I don't remember how anything actually triggers us to make that decision, other than now with all the drought things, there's decisions through the drought map and things like that that you have some triggers. But
I think as mayor, he has the power to as a declaration.
Yeah, I understand, but what he has just made a motion to do is to add requirements to that, if I understand correctly, off of that.
Yeah, I feel if the city's imposing a burn ban, that would, common sense to me, would keep somebody from firing an object on fire in somebody else's yard or field. I mean, it was a whole lot of confusion that I felt was out there. I mean, the counties put a ban on it. Robeson County just put a ban on it. Even Springfield just canceled their fireworks thing. And if we feel like it's dry enough to keep open burning down, it should be dry enough to keep from firing fireworks. That's just my thinking.
Well, and there's lots of variables to it also, because we thought that it should keep somebody from lighting a cigarette and throwing it out a window too. I think some cities tried to address that even.
You know, if we're going to do this, we probably need maybe to refer this to the work study session, so we can kind of gather some information to create an ordinance that would set out parameters of what would be a violation and so forth. Pardon?
Fourth Wednesday after tomorrow. Fourth Wednesday.
Yeah,
Well, I'm sorry, I mean, I can't
what
control
we're trying to do
days.
is address
That's-
2 days immediately.
That's kind of actually what my concern was with it, is actually can you, since it's not in our code and charter as far as I can see.
Well, that was one of the questions that came up. I mean, as far as on the police side, is if we impose a ban, everybody's going to call them, and then we don't really have a lot of teeth other than an officer hears they're disturbing the peace or causing danger or shooting on the wrong property, things like that. It's really going to be hard to enforce unless we do some other things to our ordinance. I mean, you're going to run the police department ragged that night because they get the calls anyway, and then, you know, if everybody knows there's a ban, then everyone they hear, they you'll get 10 calls probably for each one, so.
I think Mother Nature helped us for Wednesday, and so we get past Wednesday, we'll probably be all right. It'd be something to address forthcoming, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that most of Portland got a significant amount of rain this evening. Did anyone not get that rain? If we're worried about Wednesday, will this somewhat help Wednesday?
So you're saying the burn ban should be lifted?
Beg your pardon?
You're saying the burn ban should be lifted immediately?
I'm saying that Ken Wilber monitors this city on a day-to-day basis, and if he feels like that he needs to make that proclamation in the future, he'll make it. And if he feels like he shouldn't, he shouldn't. I mean, and that's what I'm gonna support. But I'm saying, if our concern is about just this 4th of July, you know, this day coming up, I think this rain probably helped us out there just for Wednesday and maybe the rest of this week. It solved itself. Now, if we want to take it to a work study and have some type of layer or something, but, you know, he's there, he monitors this stuff on a day-to-day basis. And you was in that drought meeting the other day. It's not like we just, you know, we're not monitoring it. The other side of it is the water conservation, and I think he's going to speak to that. So he's been monitoring that also. So, I mean, you know,
Chief, if we go back to, out of the D1, go back down a class with the burn ban, I mean, I know that has a lot to do with it, but will the other things, will that automatically take us out of the burn ban if we go back down to D0 or?
Normally, it's been the practice, once that is, that they will still monitor what they call the burn index with the Department of Agriculture, and they'll take into several considerations as far as the projected temperatures and humidity and rainfall and things of that nature before they actually lift the burn ban. But just because when you go out of D1 back, does not automatically mean that the burn ban's lifted.
Well, if someone violates that, how do you enforce that burn ban? I mean, what is the process that you follow? Is that a state law violation, or is it an ordinance violation, or how is that?
It is, once the state declared, which they sent down Friday, and named Sumner County specifically and other counties, then it is a violation, you know, a state violation. So those citations could be issued to General Sessions Court and taken through the county just like any other violation of state law. But, you know, that's what the mayor alluded to earlier is when we sat down and talked about this. And Mike alluded to it too, common sense, as dry as it is and as unpredictable as fireworks can be with the conditions that it is. But we had nothing, no ordinance or anything like that that basically prohibited that. So it's going to be hard for, you know, somebody to go to somebody and cite them. I'm speaking out of term here and Dual might want to address this, Captain Scruggs, but you know, to just say you just can't do that, but you know, what penalty or whatever it may be. But, and that's why we referenced that Title 13 of our municipal code, because it basically says if you're basically found to be negligent because you fired off knowing, you know, the conditions were dry and you shot a bottle rocket off in somebody's wheat field or soybeans or a cornfield or something like we had this weekend, or, you know, on property that would eventually get into a structure or something like that, that you could be held responsible for that. You know, due to the public safety or whatever. So that's basically.
Well, that would also be a destruction of property as a result of taking that action. So
that's what
you would have a state law violation there.
To me, this is just tell them you can go buy them, but you're gonna have to take them out in the country and shoot them.
You can't shoot them out there
You're
now.
gonna set every hay field in the country on fire.
County's banned
County's banned them.
Hmm?
The county's banned them. Can't shoot. We had to cancel
I
our
mean,
4th
if you
of July
drive
at our
out through the
church.
country and throw something out in the field, set it on fire, who knows you done that?
He's not saying they're gonna go out there and do it in front of people. He's saying that's where they're all gonna take place, so he takes that.
I mean, it's legitimate. I mean, my
Yeah, I mean,
neighbor,
it's,
my neighbor was confused, Mike, just because I thought there was a ban on both, and when I
That's
read it
what
in
I
more
thought.
detail, it was not. So it's a good point that we bring it up. But there again, I still think that someone's monitoring that part of the city as the other part of the city on a regular basis, and that person should just make that call.
And then if we do pass.
I don't know
ordinance-
that we could stand on it even if he did, could we?
Well, I think that
Because there's no listed violate. What would
I
it
think
be?
that's why the call was made the way that it was,
Right.
to be honest with you.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we probably need to address the code if we want
That's
to
what
do
I'm
something
saying,
like that.
and then put some actual trigger points. If we get into these, if we automatically have a state burn ban, it automatically.
Yeah.
Then thing two we need to do, if we do that, I think we need to have some definite trigger points. Then that needs to become part of our application for fireworks vendors, so they know and understand up front that certain things take place, that these are the things that's gonna happen. I mean, we won't prevent them from selling, but knowing that, the customers may not want to choose to buy them because they may not be able to discharge them. So I think, it'll be good, but I think if we do, the ordinance needs to have, like our drought management plan, some definite trigger points in it.
And then we would probably need to have a point there where that over the 2-week period, if we impose the ban, then they would be refunded X amount of dollars because, we sold on a permit to.
Or they would just know going in when they buy a permit that if we impose the ban, there'd be no fireworks, and the selling of fireworks would stop immediately during the ban. And that going in, the risk when you buy the permit, and it's up to you whether to buy the permit or not.
What I said.
But that's something going future. I'm just saying
we
for
can
right
do
now,
that.
if we're going to do a ban on open burning, it's hard for me to comprehend that open burning does not include the discharge of fireworks.
But legally, if it does not, and we don't have anything in place for it, then
Does
we
the
don't
county?
necessarily have to understand
Does the
it.
county?
I don't know.
That's right. I don't know either. But if we can make a judgment call, and we're sitting here saying that we don't know if we even can, but we did, and the public out there has no idea which way's which, then should we not err on caution?
We passed an ordinance for the water restrictions. We
Right.
can
No,
do
not the
that.
water restriction, talking
What do you
about
mean
the
we
open
did?
ban burning.
Oh, well, that's state law. I mean, that's not anything we
Right.
really dictated. I think we should too. I'm just not convinced we can. I'm not convinced we have the ability,
Right.
and that needs to be changed.
Right, it's what, that was.
No, it's
something I was
not
gonna-
even whether we can, it's what do you put on the ticket?
Right, at this time,
At
right.
this, at
What's
this
the
time, there's
violation?
nothing you can charge
That's
them.
the problem, is you can just
Right.
go out
And that
run
was
around
one of
telling
my
them to quit it.
thoughts, one of my thoughts in the decision. Of course, really, it was no decision,
Mhm.
really, when you get down to it, so. Well, we have a motion, a second, and a item on the floor. Any more discussion to what is on the floor?
Now, the motion was what?
All right, okay, Mr. White, then we'll get Mike to
Okay.
All I
clarify.
want to know is, when we vote on this, uphold your ruling, the ruling of the chair. Do we vote yes? Vote yes?
All right, you repeat back what you put forth again, so we got to understand.
I just put a motion forward that we include the discharge of fireworks in an open, burning ban.
All right, so you would vote to uphold what we already done would be a no vote,
Okay, that's what I need to know.
because yes would be to say we're not going to allow the discharge of fireworks until,
But this action you take, Mayor, it's done by virtue of what triggers you're taking that action.
basically on the fireworks, I did not take any.
No, I know that,
Let's
but I'm talking
vote.
about this burn ban.
Well, the one is first was we hit the D1 classification in the drought management map. It comes out every Thursday, and also through the state is what triggered that.
So basically, you took that action by virtue of what the fire chief,
Right.
with the information he brought
Right.
to you. But that burn ban, that's authorized by state law though,
Right.
is that not correct?
Mhm.
Correct.
And so we can't amend a state law. You're gonna have a separate ordinance violation if you want to say, in the event, the state issues regulations with respect to a burn ban being in effect, and that is announced as being applicable within the city at that time. At that time, there will be in effect a ban on the use of fireworks within the city during the period of time the ban stays in effect, and violators will be, can be cited for that violation, and of course, each violation will be a separate violation that's punishable by a $50 fine for each violation, but we don't have anything on our books right now to
And
do
that's
that.
what Mike is,
So.
he's wanting to accomplish, that's what he's wanting to accomplish.
Well, you
We're
can't,
gonna have to do- we're gonna have to
technically you
do
can't,
that
because
by
wouldn't it be two,
Right,
you
you
need
have to
two
be
readings, you can't get
right.
it done by the 4th anyway.
Of course, what he's proposed is a resolution, so.
A resolution, I don't think would do it, because that, you'd have to change.
So you're saying the mayor has no right
I don't think he does.
to stop something?
Well, he
that
can,
feels
but
is
it's not
harm to the
enforceable.
city of Portland by calling.
I mean, we can pleading to everybody, and
I don't know of anything in our existing municipal code that allows him to ban the use of fireworks at this time during a fire ban issued by the state.
You know, sometimes,
Rather-
and it's just common, if we had a disaster here in this community, we don't have all the laws in the book to address them all. But we have a strong mayor system, a person running this city, and we assume that he's gonna take action to protect his community. And that's kind of where I'm going with.
Well, he can't as it is,
Well,
in
he
this
can,
regard.
but the mayors do it every day, leaders do it every day, because you can't address every situation in an ordinance. You know, if we have a tornado that blew water, I mean, if we
I'm
have-
not necessarily saying doing it like this. If you wanted to stay with the mayor having that call, we need to put that in the code. Because as it stands right now, even the mayor can't ban it.
Well, I understand, if someone's looting and he called in, National Guard, we don't have anything to allow him to call it the National Guard. I'm just saying, you
That's
can't.
state law and all
you-
that,
You
but-
just, I mean, anyway, I mean.
Thank God for the rain.
I mean, I would be perfectly fine leaving that with the mayor. I just think if we want to do that, we need to
I don't have a
put
problem with that.
some mechanism in where he can point to it in the code.
Well, he
yeah.
would want that too, because there's gonna be some people that's gonna challenge the people that wanna sell. If he makes that decision arbitrarily, somebody's gonna challenge it, so I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The mayor could say today that don't shoot fireworks, but couldn't stand on it. Somebody shoot fireworks, it's not in our code, you can't ticket them with anything.
All right, I've
As
had-
as opposed to seeing this defeated, might it be referred to our next work study to, because even if we wanted to do something tonight, we couldn't, because it'd take 2 readings, can't get it done by the 4th anyway.
Can I make a motion to defer?
we have a motion to defer. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion to defer and seconds, non-debatable. All in defer and say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, still passes. So we will be one of the items on this coming Monday's work study. All right, I do want to talk about this time, in the notice that we did put out, it's kind of a twofold notice.
Hey, Mayor, I apologize. Did you want to try to do that airport item that was on there before you got into that, or?
Well, we still got Tim had his add-ons. We'll just do that one.
I'm sorry, I go ahead.
About the drought, of course, we are in drought conditions, and one of the things that triggers our water drought is also the same map that Chief Wedge uses as a drought management map. And we hit the D1 classification on Thursday, so we put in an announcement that we are in one of 4 phases of a drought management plan, and it's called the Drought Alert. We have a drought management plan that was passed by this council. We have a committee that oversees this plan, and they will be meeting this coming Monday, I believe at 5 o'clock, to see where we are and kind of monitor. The next phase will be what they call voluntary water reductions. And during this time, we've asked everybody to like reduce 10%, do things they can to save water. Also, go ahead.
I just got a question. I know where you're getting to, and I know this is voluntary, but I know I was driving down the highway today, and I saw people watering their yards, and the school over here was even watering a practice field. So if we're gonna conserve, don't we need to be telling those people they don't need to be doing that? Especially the schools watering a practice field?
Not if it's voluntary. I mean.
Well, at the stage it's at now, it's just trying to make everybody aware
At the
of
state we
it.
are in right now, we have all we're doing is saying is everybody, hey, we're getting ready to head into a drought, and you need to be thinking about it. Well, the next one we do, even though it's called voluntary, there are certain things there that's done, and one of the things that was put in was a 5% increase on water only, not minimum bills, not sewer, and that was to help, the more water you use, the more you're gonna pay, so you would have a tendency to save. So there are certain items that we're seeking reduction, then you go into.
But that hasn't been put in yet, though.
No, it has
Yeah.
not. Then the next one is mandatory water restrictions, which has another base of increase, and then emergency water management. As each one of those goes along, you get more and more authority to do things. And that's one of the things, the state paid a visit to Thomas Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe it was, and that's one thing I think he wants to be addressed at the next water board meeting, is that they felt like maybe we need to put a little bit more stringent things in there to be able to enforce it a little bit more. They felt like maybe we didn't quite have enough teeth. But there are,
I like for the water board or somebody to try to do something about the county fire departments. I know of one volunteer fire department is charging $50 to fill swimming pools for people. They're not turning the water in. We've begged, we've asked, we've had meetings, and no results. They just use water where they want to, when they want to, and all they want to.
yeah, that is a major problem, and
It's a
they're not
major
supposed to be
problem.
charging. And that is something we probably need to get this council to pass something on, so it is a body of, a action of the city council administrative body. And that may be something we want you to put that on our Monday night's meeting too. 'Cause it's something we do need to get serious about, is them turning in their water usage. But on the drought management plan, what I say is there are certain triggers to go into the next one. Like one is 10 consecutive days of pumping over 70% of the water. If you're in the D1 for 4 consecutive weeks, if you start losing pressure by 10%. So these are not just items, we'll go next step just because Thomas or somebody feels like we do. There are certain trigger points. And as we get ready to go in each one, we'll try to address those separately instead of confusing everybody with, what is taking place. But right now, we're just in what they call a drought alert. Even this little bit of rain today may drop our 70% down because people won't be watering this afternoon, where a lot of times they would be. So there are certain trigger points that goes along with this plan. So it's not just something that we'll be making decisions as we go along. There are certain guidelines to meet.
And to be real clear, today, even prior to the rain, we were in a D1, which is
D1.
a voluntary.
Right, just asking
Okay.
people and make them aware, hey, we're in a drought alert, which means the next step could be some other things.
And how do you plan, are you gonna use the same publications?
We will use our Code Red website, TV, radio station, papers, like we did the
And that'll spell out what's
Right.
required and what the penalties are.
Right.
It just looks a little bad though when
I
we
know
have
that.
somebody sending out a phone call to conserve water.
And
And
people-
we've got people watering their yards
Well, the
and
next
schools
step,
watering the
next
football
step, we
field.
will be, and then that's another item I think we need to address too when we talk about this, is the people, unfortunately, some of these people are, through agreements, are not paying for water because they are community services. When we hit these conditions and they use water, I think they should have to pay for it. So that's something we need to talk about, what Mr. Menace did with the possible water fire departments. So.
The Code Red was used to deliver that message, and also the fire department's Facebook page through the Portland Leaders.
Right.
All the Facebook pages got tagged in that. Will they use that same avenue and same approach to when it's removed and the people no longer have to be
Okay.
concerned with that?
Okay. But I say we'll stay in the D1 for a while, even though we do get some rain along, because the water tables are really low and the surface is really hard right now. So we're going to see that probably for a while.
Takes a while to get that back up, I'm sure.
All right, but anybody got any questions on that? That's.
I've got a question. That valve is down, that runs, is that still running?
What's going on now is that Drake's Creek is really low. We're having to do the drawdown valve to blend the water, to have enough water for it to be full through a blending process.
Can that valve be completely turned off?
No, it's part of the water treatment plant improvement. That valve will be replaced. and
With a
couple of
throttle
months-
valve?
Yes, sir, with an automated valve that they'll have control over. And it will be fixed, thanks to the upgrade.
Well, I know that valve run constantly for years. It's not completely open, it's not closable now.
It's not closable right now. In a couple of months, it should be though, to be repaired.
All right, has anyone else got any questions on water? All right, if not, Mr. Coker?
I had a discussion, take possible action on ordinance number 12-09. This was an ordinance that was passed some time ago, a few months ago, changing the job description of the city recorder and establishing a job description for the finance director. And that was in anticipation of the charter changes coming. We wanted to go ahead and advertise and have somebody ready to go in there when those charter changes came through. As is, ordinance number 12-09 is in violation of our city charter. So we need to decide what we're going to do, especially in light of news we got today with the one person we hired for that job not wanting it if it stays city recorder.
Right.
We need to do something about this.
I think we just need to rescind it. I mean, and then we'll be in compliance with our current charter. And then, so I put out Monday night, I'd like for us to have a good discussion about where we're going from here. And Patricia's been doing a lot of talking. She's checking on some things and different things, so forth. So, but I mean, you're right. It's in direct violation of our current charter.
Well, is there any way we can change the job description?
Oh, you can, but it still will be, still the charter would override it, and it's, the charter would have to be changed to.
See, the city
change
recorder's in the charter. We would have to wait till next year to change the charter.
Right.
The city recorder's still in control
Right.
of day-to-day operations, finances and all that.
Which if we hire a city recorder now and decide next year we want a finance director, you gonna hire someone to be city recorder for 1 year? I mean, it's kind of
Right, I mean, there's some things.
really messed up place right now.
It sure has.
And we got this lady beside us in limbo right now, which.
Yeah.
We've been talking quite a bit, so. But I mean, really, that what you said is in direct conflict.
And with everything that's happened, one of the things we have to establish too is if we still want a finance director, what are we going to do in the meantime until we can get it passed, if it can be passed, to the state legislature charter change next year?
Well, I mean, until that time, the recorder can delegate duties, but everything will still come back to follow the responsibility of the recorder. If there's any issues, problems, things like that, it will still be under the recorder's responsibility.
And then the other problem that there was a lot of confusion about who answered to who, the responsibilities of the city recorder that we straightened out this back fuzzy again now also. Because that was one of the issues one of the big issues we wanted to address, and we didn't have an opportunity to do that.
So we can't by ordinance create that financial director's position?
You can create the position, but he can't be in charge of the budget and all that stuff we want him to do, because in our charter it says the city recorder's in charge of that stuff.
Right. We do have a job description. Of course, we still have the position, financial analyst, which if you read the job description, it is almost exactly what the finance director is going to do. So we could, fill that position, and then, of course, that would be under the oversight of the city recorder. But when it got down to the end of any final decisions or any issues, then the recorder would be the one that would have to be the one who would address those with. So. But anyway, like I said, I really everybody just think about it and take their time, and Monday night really have a hard discussion about it.
What was that position you just mentioned, Mayor?
Financial analyst.
Financial.
That's what Ron was hard for when he was hard. That's his job description.
But that's not in the charter. You just
No.
say that's a position that exists.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And I tell you, if you read that job description, it pretty much is everything that we want a finance director to do. Pretty close.
Right, but he answered to the city recorder
Yeah,
when
so,
we had it
I mean,
with
all of
Ron.
them are going to have to
Yeah.
basically answer the city recorder. Anybody in a finance position. Do you want to try to take some action now, or wait to see where our discussion next week?
I think we have to take action on 1209
Right, I
tonight.
think so too.
And I'll make a motion, we rescind ordinance number 12-09.
Must be done by ordinance, by the way.
Second.
So take 2 readings.
Okay, so it'll be the first reading of ordinance tonight to rescind 12-09. Did you second?
Yes.
So we have a second. Is there any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, I believe that was all the add-ons we had. We have one final piece of action, ordinance 12-22, it's the second reading. So ordinance approving a contract between the Portland Airport Authority and State of Tennessee Department of Transportation Aeronautics Division for RSA improvements for the Portland Municipal Airport. Brian, I should have let you done that, and I got ahead of myself.
you're just fine.
Do we have a motion to get it on the floor?
So move.
Have a second?
Second.
I think Doug has been here before and explained this, and I think if anybody, needs any other explanation, but, we've had a work study and have the first reading. Does anyone need any comments on it or anything? Think all good? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next, Brian, did you have anything to report from the alcohol beverage for tonight?
So do we bring
Okay.
anything?
All right, does anyone else have anything?
I got something, Mayor. Our codes department needs to, looks to me like needs to go over here on 52 and look at this trailer. I understand that man that lives there is in bad shape. But there's 3 trailers, I believe, 3 campers sitting behind his house, and I think there's probably people living in them.
Okay, we'll get that. I know where you're talking about, so Jackie, you make a note of that. Okay. Okay.
Has it been discussed or anybody looked at it? Well, I'm not really complaining. I mean, the reason I hadn't said anything about it because of the condition the man's in. But that's an eyesore. And it's absolutely a violation of code.
Okay.
If we're gonna enforce codes, we need to enforce them everywhere, or we need to do away with the ordinance.
Probably what'll happen, codes will go over and I'm gonna say that even if he's ill, that, they'll go over and issue a citation. He probably will ask, to come before the property maintenance, and if he's ill, then they'll give him some time to clean that up. It won't be just, so we can do it, be mercifully, I guess is the way we can put it, but take care of the problem.
There was one of those, well, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I think something's supposed to already take place, but we'll talk.
I wish he could've got in one of those government houses. Got rid of that mess.
I think next year if we make the decision, we talked about not building any new houses, but spread that money around, about 20,000 per house, we can help a lot more people that way. And I think that's what kind of decision that we talked about, going that direction rather than building new houses. Because you think if you spend 60, you could have helped 3 people rather than just the one. And I think we'll get more bang for our bucks.
Anybody else got anything? If not, adjourn.
You gonna take it?